JAKQ.
Hello, and welcome back to Ace Ideas. As you can see, my lighting setup has changed, my location has changed, and you can actually see my face. This is because I moved into my college dorm where I actually have a good lighting setup for recording these videos, so you won't have to deal with disembodied JAKQ voice with like a little shadowy face. You'll actually be able to see me as well as hear me, which makes my job so much easier. Now, this week's topic is defining asexuality. So I'm just gonna go for it. Dive straight in. Asexuality is defined by Haven, and the general accepted definition by most other sources is a lack of sexual attraction to any sex or gender. So someone who's asexual, like myself, does not experience sexual attraction to anyone. Excuse me. However, like anything else, especially when it comes to topics like identity, asexuality exists along a spectrum, and people can still identify with the asexual community and experience some forms of sexual attraction. Like, people who are gray asexual, sometimes gray A or grace or other terms like that. Gray asexuals experience sexual attraction usually either very minimally, like they experience attraction once in a blue moon, say, or they experience sexual attraction that is so not intense that in most cases it's usually negligible. So they oftentimes feel like a kinship with the asexual community in that sense. And there's another group called demisexuals, or demisexuality, which unfortunately gets far too much flack from all sorts of different types of people. And that's a topic for another week, possibly. But demisexuality is defined as a lack of sexual attraction unless a deep emotional connection is formed. So basically what that means in layman's terms is that a demisexual in just walking around everyday life functions like an asexual. Like, for all intents and purposes, demis are ace until this actually doesn't. This is not the best way to describe it, but it's the only way I know how, because I'm not demisexual. But for all intents and purposes, just walking around in daily life, demisexuals are functionally asexual until they develop that strong enough connection where the attraction kicks in. In which case they will be attracted sexually to that specific person. Now, and nobody else. Now, that comes with a lot of baggage because people tend to, unless they like really get themselves educated, which is what I and the rest of this channel are really trying to do, most people will conflate sexual attraction with sexual behavior, and the two are pretty different. I know that Ray talked about this in her Monday vlog, but just to reiterate, sexual attraction does not necessarily relate to sexual behavior. For example, There are people who experience sexual attraction but make a conscious decision not to act on it, and that is called abstinence or celibacy. Some asexuals are celibate, meaning they don't. I think many asexuals are celibate, if not most. I can't speak for everybody. I am at least, but many asexuals are celibate because they don't see the point in engaging in sexual activities if they're not attracted to anybody, or they're repulsed by even the thought of engaging in sexual activities themselves, so they won't engage in those things. But other asexuals do engage in sexual activities for some reason or other, whether it's to please a partner or just or if they're in the closet and they are just following the mainstream normative relationship escalator path that just makes their lives easier, or a whole host of reasons why an asexual person can have sex. Just as there's a whole host of reasons why someone who experiences sexual attraction would choose not to. Now, Ray said that asexuals can be abstinent. This is something that I actually disagree with her on. I think we're using different definitions of abstinence. I said that an asexual can be celibate, but they're not abstaining from anything, because the way I define abstinence at the very least is like abstinence from anything, whether it's sex or drugs or driving or anything, is if someone has a desire to do something and for some reason or other they make a conscious decision not to, for one reason or another. That is abstaining. Asexuals can be celibate, they can just not have sex, but it's not that they are suppressing a desire of some kind, which is where I see the difference as. But and it's the same thing with demisexuality, or gray sexuality. People will give demisexuals a lot of flack because a lot of times in at least Western society, people are oftentimes expected to not engage in sexual activity unless they've developed an emotional connection with somebody, which is not demisexuality. That is behaving a certain way, but many people will behave that way, but still be attracted to somebody on sight, for example, or whereas a demisexual just doesn't feel the attraction until the time is right. So, attraction is different from behavior. Asexuality is different from celibacy or abstinence. Asexuality is just a long spectrum. I think I have defined pretty much everything I wanted to define in this video. So I will see you all in 2 weeks with another topic. See you later.